Hello and welcome to another dip into Deacove, where today we're going to dip into Eyes of the Jungle. This 1991 game is an interesting one. It kind of, if you've played Caves and Claws, it kind of has some things reminiscent about that game. It's bigger, I would say, and it also has something kind of interesting. Here's the box, by the way. Oh, maybe I should read this little blurb. You probably want me to read that. I'll talk more about the game in a second. A cooperative adventure game. There is trouble stirring in the jungle. Village children are lost or worse, been taken by slave traders. The temple has been robbed of sacred and precious artifacts. Some rare animals have been captured. A call for help reaches our hidden camp. We quietly slip into the dark and dangerous interior. Our mission is always to protect and save. We are the eyes and ears of the jungle. We are the Jungle Rangers. The dangers we face are many and deadly. It will take all our skills and cleverness to make our rescues and then return alive. Imaginations will be challenged as we try to use whatever jungle resources we find to overcome the deadly dangers. But our very best resource is ourselves, working as a team, eyes and ears for each other. Eyes of the Jungle is a game which encourages careful thinking, bold imagination, and cooperative teamwork. It is an exciting game that is different each time played. Tricky strategies entice adults to join in as well. Surprises await. Take care. So yeah, I think this one does work for all ages. It's kind of got like there's like a map element. And here's the map, where there's kind of like a puzzle that you kind of are unfolding. Now the puzzle does have some luck involved, because we are going to have these pieces turned face down on the board. Now our basic goal is to get, if you look here, these spaces that are kind of outlined in off-white, there's two things that go in each of those, and we got to find those things and make a path for them to go safely back home. Now, unfortunately for us, there are lots of obstacles, which if you've been dipping into Deacove with me, you see that there are a lot of games where there are obstacles, and you have to use resources to deal with those obstacles. This is one such game, as popularized by the game Princess. Different thing about this game, though, is that there's sort of a stated cap on your imagination, which makes it kind of tricky. Tricky in a way that I don't know. Like the number cap from Not an Island was a little more easy to deal with. So the rules say to be sensible in figuring out how to use the resource to deal with the obstacle. But if you look at like some of these things on here, we have like a powerful hypnotic eye, tremendous strength. Like there's kind of things that pouch of special herbs, so it kind of invites some sort of creativity. Like I don't know what they mean by sensible. There's already like magic in this world to some degree, but so you kind of want to think like, I think it's going for kind of like a pulp heroism vibe, so we don't want to go too crazy with it. But like you can use a flute to get by a snake, so there are numbers that match up. If you see the number there, 13, can you see that? So 13 you're supposed to use on the boa constrictor. I don't know how sensible that actually is. So you kind of have to conjure up what Jim had in mind when he came up with what sensible means in this context. So we're going to be putting all these down on each space except for these here, the ones that are outlined. Those are our goal spaces. Now the things that we need to get back, we need to find two lost children, some treasures from this temple. Looks like, is it a chimp or a monkey? Maybe a monkey, and a jaguar. And then we are ourselves, our jungle rangers, are out there somewhere, and we're supposed to get ourselves home last. Now if we don't manage to get ourselves home, the rules say, ideally you would want to get yourself home, but you helped everyone else, so you still win. So there's kind of degrees of winning, some kind of squishiness to it, which is kind of par for the course. Like even if you lose in a Deacove game, it says, you think about how good you did, right? Right. And I think that's a way to do it anyway. I mean, the win condition is just to get you to play, right? To give you some sort of goal. It's not really the purpose of play. Unless you are like competing for money, or it helps your like self-esteem, I guess then it might matter if you win or not. But otherwise it doesn't. So we're putting all these out. This is randomized. I don't know what's where, and we're just going to have to look. Now, from how I understand it, and I didn't read the rules too in depth, you just can kind of like pick from anywhere, and just see what you get. And that's what we'll do. Now, the clear path we have to make from the thing we're trying to rescue to their home. Turn down pieces also count as blocking it. So you basically have to turn up everything. So we kind of have this map puzzle where we try to figure out, because if you turn over everything, you're going to lose. You can't get the things home. So you want to turn over as few tiles as possible while finding those things. So there's some luck in finding them, but you can also think about, you want to combine paths, which makes it tricky. I played this game with my son. Makes it tricky with him because he wants to just go everywhere. And I kind of want to combine paths because I think that'll work better. I'm going to enhance the color on this a little bit. You'll see. I'm going to, let's get some color intensity. And that looks great. Okay. All right, let's get started. So, once again, let's see if there's any interesting blurbs I can read in here. I like this part. Object of the game. You are like Tarzans, Lone Rangers, or MacGyvers of the jungle. I just like that sentence. Yeah. Ranger cards can be moved spaces during a game, but not moved into home. Yep. Okay. So basically all we do is we're going to turn one up. I'm going to turn up... I kind of want to... Well, so here's a pro tip that I figured out. It's not in the rules, but you definitely want to turn up these first, right? Because you know you're going to have to do those if you're going to succeed. Any of the other ones, you might find alternate paths. So the best thing to do is do that. Okay, so we got a resource. We got this a sheet of bright cloth, which is supposed to be used for dealing with the pit trap, but you can use it for other things too. I like that they specify that it's a bright color because maybe that could matter in your sensible solution that you come up with yourself. All right, so now we'll turn up another one. This would be another turn, but I'm just going to be doing all the turns. Now we have a shard of glass, which is supposed to be used if you have a leg injury. I don't know if you like splint the glass against your leg or if you like cut the injury out. I don't know how, but then we have, okay, so now we have some rocks. Now these rocks, they're number 7. They happen to come up on this 7 triangle. I can put them on the other 7 triangle though. I think I'm going to leave them here because the other 7 triangle is, if I put it here on this other 7 triangle, this piece would be covered until I cleared the rocks away. So we'll just leave it there, even though my heart tells me to, try to open up the path to the animals before the relics, but we're going to do this way. And then, okay, now here we have these scary guys. It says they're fortune hunters, but on the box it says there's like slavers around. So we're going to put them over in front of our camp because we're the last priority. So we'll put them there. Hopefully we'll be able to get by them. Now we'll uncover this one. We got a stack of poles. And then, okay, now we found the girl. So the shortest way for the girl to get home is along this path here. So I see no reason not to just try that. So we'll clear out here and then maybe work on a path down. But we don't know where all the other things are hidden. So we'll start here. Okay, we found a scout. Scouts are nice because they let you just peek at a tile. So that can be useful. Since we're not really in doubt as to what we're doing right now, I'm not going to use the scouting tile, but that might be good if I'm trying to figure out which path to use in the future. Here we have flooding, I think. Number 12 is a flood, yeah. And I think it might be better if I zoomed in a bit, just so you can see a little better. You don't need to see this card on the side. It's just where you store the things you find. Okay, Okay, so where do we want to flood? I'm going to go ahead and flood down here because I figure we'll want to do a path this way, but then maybe we could turn. That might be just depending on what comes up. So, okay, now we have great speed. Can move very quickly. You only get to do it once though. So once you use your ability to move fast, it's gone. It's like a blessing of the gods or something. Or okay, now we found another scout. This is looking good. We got a nice path. Now we can move her at any time, so might as well move her to there. Oh no, I don't want to move her there because if we get something that has to come up on there, she'll be covered. All right, we found rope-like vines. This game's easy. Oh, see here. This is a chasm. We're going to go ahead and put the chasm there because I don't want to cover up this card here. That's the other place where you can put that particular obstacle. Now we could try to deal with the chasm right now, but we're just going to wait until we're ready to move the girl home. And we find a flute. Okay, so we got pretty lucky here. We didn't get too many hazards. There's a lot more hazards than there are. Well, maybe it's about half and half if you include the scouting trips and the people you're trying to save. All right, so got a couple things we could use to get across the chasm. The thing that would make me feel safest, it says rope-like vines are the ones that match it, but I think the stack of poles makes me feel safest crossing it. I'd rather, have like a sturdy bridge than... So we're going to do that. I think that's sensible. No one's here to tell me otherwise. So that's going to go away. All right, and then she can go home. Thank you. All right, so now we don't quite know where we want to go, right? We have this cleared up here. It might actually be good to just go ahead and go down this way. But it just depends where things are. Should we use a scouting trip? Let's show you how that works. Okay, so we use the scouting trip. See, we have some binocs. I don't know why we can't just do that all the time, but I guess because it's a game. Let's look at this central piece just to see what that is. Okay, so there's the boa constrictor. So if we can help it, we'd rather not turn that over because then we don't have to deal with it, right? So then, since we have the flood here, let's go this way and see what we can find going down this way. All right. Oh, we have a hurt leg, right? And that can go here or here. Oh, that's 13. Where's the hurt leg go? Sorry, camera. Oh no, that's right. Okay, there 3 or I can go down here. We will put it down here because we're just exploring this way right now. So if we go down there, we have to deal with a hurt leg. It's kind of a weird thing to try to translate this into a story. It's like you're going to get a hurt leg if you could. If it was like the tile came up and then you just suffered that and then you had to see if you could deal with it, that might be a little different. But it's a gamey game. So we'll just accept that even though there's storytelling elements. Okay, we found our friend, the monkey. I think I see a tail there. Now, we it's kind of equidistant either way here. So let's just keep plugging down this way and see what we can find for the monkey. Okay, here we have this. We will block off these. That's rapids. Hypnotic eye, a powerful hypnotic eye. Once again, you can only use it once. Then your eyeball falls out or something. We'll keep going. Found some piranhas. We're going to wait this side. Try to clear over here first. Okay, we found these other gorillas. I guess they're maybe not gorillas. They're fortune hunters. The berets made me think they're gorillas. All right. More piranhas. So the river's totally cut off unless we want to deal with stuff. But you only want to deal with stuff if you have to. This is a bad way to go. We're getting lots of rough stuff. Here we have extreme hunger. Okay. We will put that over there. And we're going to shift all our problems to the right now. I don't know if this is the best strategy. Oh, but this is nice. So we have our monkey and our jaguar here together. So we just need to clear the rocks in these 3 spaces, and then we can get them all home, which is pretty good. See what we got. Okay, can move very quietly. We have ourselves, and we have a crocodile or an alligator, one of the two. Okay, so we could get these fellows home if we could get past the rocks. I don't feel like I have anything that's particularly good at getting, that would be sensible to get past the rocks. I could try to pry them with the flute that we have, but I don't think the flute's that sturdy. So we're going to just let that sit for now and figure out a different way to go. Since we have this clearing here, we could see what we find up here. And yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and move the jaguar here, and we'll leave this guy where he is, and we'll just see what this is. Okay, we got a snapped rope. We'll again shift it to the right. Let's see, what do we want to do now? Establish that this isn't good, but what if there's like cool stuff in here? We should check that out. Or we could just, since we have this fellow here, we could just keep pressing this direction. Let's do that. See what this is. Okay, we've got snake. It's a pit viper. Which, the pit viper you also can, they have two different kinds of snakes, which is kind of cool. A lot of this stuff they have doubled up. Like there's 2 alligators, 2 rapids, 2 floods. But the pit viper and the boa constrictor are different snakes, but they're the same number, so you solve them with the same thing if you're just going to use the recommended thing. Likewise, the scorpion and the black widow are the same. Alright. So we got to put it down now. It would have been nice to move this monkey past here first, but we can't do that. So we're going to plop it up here and just keep pressing on. Okay, now we found the great strength. We're going to go ahead and use that to move these rocks. In fact, I'm going to throw that over there. Oh, you're supposed to put resources used here. I was using, on this side thing, it says resources used. I was just using it to store the things before we use it. All right. So then we can bring the jaguar home and the monkey home. And we're good there. Now let's keep pressing this way because eventually we'll want to get our rangers home. So we'll move them to there. Found a scouting trip. We could be using those, but I'm not. We're just going to push on. Scorpion. Now we can go ahead and throw the scorpion down here because that seems like a pretty, I guess if these might need to come this way, all the way over there, but I don't think so. We got one ranger over here. Chances are the other ranger's over here somewhere. So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to keep pressing on. We found a fallen tree. Again, we're going to just kind of block off where we went. I don't know if that's wise. We could find the little boy next, and then he's blocked off. He can't get home. Maybe it's a poor idea. I don't know. Let's go ahead and use a scouting trip. I want to use one right here just to see what it is. Okay, fallen trees. And then I want to see what this one is. Okay, another crevice. So we're just going to leave those there. And that's all our scouting trips. So we know this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. We don't know what this is. Let's go ahead and press on up here. Okay, we found the golden sun. Yeah, we shouldn't have blocked off the way we came. That was silly because we could have brought it back. So let's go ahead and fix that. If we had moved the scorpion up here, we would have had the same problem. The scorpion, I'm going to wrap it up in some cloth and move it away from us. And then we have the fallen trees. We don't have a great thing to be sensible with it. I think we could use the vine and like loop it up on a tree limb, because we're like MacGyvers of the jungle, and use that to like tug it up, right? Yeah. Okay. And now the sun gets back to its temple. The gods are happy. Let's see what this guy is. Oh, it's more hunger. Okay, so there's a hunger here. We have to put it up here even though we don't want to. Alright, so that makes us kind of blocked in this area. We're going to have to just start picking around, see what we can find. I think I'm going to keep going down this way because, yeah, because it could be if it's the boy or the statue. That's good. Oh, here's the boy. Okay, so all we need to do is get past 3 things to get the boy home. We need to get past this viper with the flute. And then there's the idol. That's great. Okay, so the idol will go home here. The boy will run along till he gets really hungry. We're going to hypnotize him and tell him that he's not hungry. And he's like, okay, I'm not hungry. And then we got to get past these fellows here. We'll use the recommended move very quietly to get past them. Then we get the boy home. So now we've done like all of our altruistic things and we just kind of want to save ourselves. So let's start off by running up here. We have more extreme hunger. We don't really have anything to deal with that unless we have glass, I guess. We could jab ourselves and then we would not be thinking about the hunger as much. But that we could pass out from blood loss, especially since we haven't had enough to eat. Though we're not technically afflicted with hunger until we get to that space, I guess. All right, so we need to find some more help. Okay, that's not help. But again, since we've cleared all this now, this is all cleared, I feel pretty good about blocking, especially over here. But maybe we want to see what that is. Okay. That's fine. Let's see what this is. Oh, here's the other rangers. So all we got to do is deal with this hunger, whatever this is, and whatever that is, and we're good. Okay. Flooding. Not terribly problematic. I think we can use the speed to run past these guys. I don't know. I'm scared of them. I'm not going to use the speed to run past them. Okay, we've got the pouch of special herbs. These are useful to stave off hunger. So we will go ahead and do that. Let's see what's behind it. A scouting trip, great. Okay, now all we have to do is get past these guys. And maybe whatever's underneath it. So we have the glass, but they have guns. And you know, I don't think it's encouraged that we use violence in this game. Okay, let's look at these fellas. They're fortune hunters. We don't really have anything to sell them. I guess if we're just trying to get in our house, we could just move with great speed and just run past them. And then, you know, by the time, because they're probably like taking their ease. It's hot. They've been here for a while. Let's go ahead. Let's say it works. That's sensible. Run past the guys with guns. Okay. Then we have rapids. We were successful. We kind of got, you know, the cards I think kind of went in our favor. But so that's Eyes of the Jungle. It's interesting. You have to think in 2 very different ways. I find, you know, the creative way and the problem solving. I don't find that it makes for great storytelling, or it doesn't prompt me to. Maybe, I don't know if it's because of the shifting between the ways of thinking. You know, you're thinking about the route that you're trying to make and all that, and being creative, or if it's just the elements that you have to work with vis-a-vis the obstacles you're trying to overcome. I don't feel like there's a ton of different ways, and plus you keep hearing in your head while you're playing Jim saying in your ear, be sensible, be sensible. All right, before we wrap this one up, but still I think a decent game. A decent game that you may love, especially, I think some people would like the puzzle aspect more than others. Different players. Okay, I don't think there's much else to talk about with this one. This game was 91, so kind of like mid-Deacove. definitely exploring genres right now. Later on, you'll find as we get towards the present day, he goes more into like just kind of his own interests, or maybe his interests change as he gets older, and that's kind of interesting phase two. But that's all for this. Tomorrow we're going to be going back to the Real People Multi-Game Solitaire Mega Tournament with PAX Renaissance. See you later.